Okay, now we're going to try and generate JSON directly from PHP. So I'm going to come out of MySQL, go into my public HTML directory, and go into the CW1 folder and take a look at my files. You can see that this is the file that I'm trying to reproduce. I want to get that live from the database using PHP. And I've kind of got a system that pretty much works. You can see here, so it's working, and what I'd like to do is to keep this working at all times. So I'm going to sneak up on this problem by replacing bits a bit at a time. First stage could be to create a PHP file that does the business. So let's create a PHP file, and this is the file that is going to replace this thing here. I want to think for a minute about what I want to call this. This is the file that tells me about an individual showing. So this is a performance, if you like. So I'm tempted to use the name performance or showing. I think I'll go for performance. So performance.php. Okay, so start off with PHP. And to cheat, what I'm going to do is just kind of hard code in that file that I already had. So let me pull that in. So if I do the read command from Vim, that file was called a something. Let me just move this up a little bit and I'll find out what it exactly was called. I can see the name there. So I'm going to read in, it is A42580.json. So read that in. Okay, and the JSON format is essentially a string. What I could do is assign that a variable name, put single quotes around it, and simply write it out. So I can say echo $A, and that's my PHP finished. It's totally cheating. No, it's out, not A. Okay, so completely cheating here, but I'm trying to replace that fixed file with a PHP file, and I can go about fixing bits one at a time. Let's write that out and quit and try, see if the page still works if I redirect from another place. So that would be in dom.js. This is where I'm loading that file there, and I want to replace that with my PHP, which I called performance.php. With a bit of luck, I can just swap out one data source from another. It'll do exactly the same thing. Let's write it out and see if it worked. Probably have to do a hard refresh here, so I'm going to hold down Control to reload that, and it didn't work. What did performance give me? That's all looking good. Yep. But cannot read property length of undefined. DOM7. It looks like the row labels haven't come through. And I'm wondering why that is. I'm going to reload. Reload again. Now I can't see that DOM call. I can't see the call to performance. Why didn't that work? Let's line step, see if we can figure out what's going on. Looks like dtitle was there. Let me try again, reload. So my structure D that I read in looks good, can't see anything wrong with it. It looks like it's just come in as a string, so this isn't actually a JSON object. Okay, so what's happened is that D has come in and this AJAX call is treating it as a string. There's two ways to fix that. What I want to do is to convince this AJAX call that I'm not getting a string, I'm getting a JSON structure. What I could do is change this and specify that the data type is JSON. Let me do that. So here's my AJAX call. If I force it, if I say data type, I think it is, data type is JSON. That should force the system to treat this parameter here not as a string, but as a JSON structure. Write that out and reload. Okay, that worked. That worked, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to take that out, I'm going to break it again, and I'm going to show you a better way to do it. So, that's it broken again. Run that and it's not working because it's treating it as a string. Let me fix it the right way. The right way is to fix it in PHP. So I'm going to go back to performance, and here I want to output a header, and the header should tell the system that the data type I'm putting out is JSON. I can just show you the header here. If we look at the call, can't see it. If we look at the call that gets performance and check the headers, you can see the response headers. That's what the PHP is spitting out. It's saying its content type is gzip, content length there, and content type is text HTML. So the PHP is telling the web browser is outputting HTML, whereas in fact it's outputting JSON. This kind of stuff, I don't remember how to do, I'm afraid. I'm going to look it up very quickly, but I will show you how I do the lookup. So what I want to do is set the output header. So I'm going to do a search in Google for PHP content type. I know what it is I want to do. JSON is coming up. I've obviously done this before. And there'll be a line, Stack Overflow, so reliable. Stack Overflow. What do I have to set this? PHP, that's the line I want. Header content type, application, JSON. This is an example of a MIME type. And all different file formats have got their own MIME type, and JSON has got that one. So I for insert, and put that line out in there. Content type, application JSON. So now the PHP script is outputting the header. You have to do this before you do any other output, by the way. So the header comes out telling whoever's picking that data up what sort of data it is. Let's reload and hope that that worked. That's great. Okay, just double check where is it? The response header. The response header is now application JSON, and so the JavaScript correctly interprets it. All right, so what I want to do is to sneak up on this problem one at a time, one bit at a time. At the moment, I just used a string. I put together a string. What I'm going to do is change this variable to ret, and I'm going to change this to a JSON structure. So JSON structure in JSON structure. This is I'm making this into a PHP object. Okay, and it's got sofa required and armchair required, and I'm changing these colons to arrows, which is the PHP way of doing things. All of these things I want to be getting from the database eventually, but right now I'm sneaking up on the problem a bit at a time, cheating as much as I possibly can. Actually, I'm going to ditch this thing altogether. That was a mistake. Here's the tmap. There's tmap. I am turning this into something that I can read a bit more easily. And it allows me to have a working system at all times. And just build up the output that I want. Okay, nearly done. Okay, UMap. Well, that's going to be complicated. I'm going to leave you. I'm not going to bother formatting UMap. What's next? Image and title and stuff like that. There's the image. And then I'm looking for the date and the screen and the runtime. Boy, I hope this works after all this work. There's the title. Pricing is going to be complicated. Okay, and get rid of that trailing quote. So now what's happened is I have decided on the return structure, and now this is a PHP object and I can replace things in ret. When I echo out, I could just output ret, but that won't be very informative. Let me show you what that does. So just to check that this works, I'm going to do PHP performance And okay, things are going badly wrong. Line 3. Okay, I haven't got this exactly right. Okay, you can't do that. You say array, open brackets there, and I was thinking of a different language entirely. Close the bracket there. I think it'll cope with square brackets okay, probably won't like this one here. This should be X. Nope, colon in there. So that should be array, open bracket, get rid of that one. This is a arrow, this one's an arrow. This one should be an arrow. And close the bracket there. Okay, let's try that. Okay, still not happy. I've got a colon on line 16. Okay, that UMap's not going to work. Nope, that's okay. UMap will work. It just needs to be an arrow. Okay, and then it's a list of strings. It's getting tedious. Line 17. Okay, again, that should be an arrow. So, boom, and while I'm here, I've got some more. I was getting lazy there. So these are all arrows. There's a few languages where you can use this colon syntax, and I rather like it. And I'm having now to use this arrow syntax, which is kind of borrowed from Perl. Come on, 19. Oh yeah, alright, I missed that rating. Rating is 18. Boy, is it an 18 movie. Line 23 now, that's a long way on. 23. No, shouldn't be that. That should be no semicolon there. At last. Okay, this is the error message I wanted. It's complaining on line 25, array to string conversion. I've got a complicated structure and I'm trying to just echo it out. I can't do that. I need to convert it into a PHP. No, I need to convert it into a JSON thing. And it's probably called encode JSON or to JSON or something like that. I'm going to guess first. Actually, I'm not liking that. It didn't change color. Let's see if Stack Overflow can help me out. Okay, PHP to JSON. Yeah, JSON encode. And I had encode JSON. Who'd have thunk? JSON encode. Okay, that's me trying to do CW. I spelt it right, now I'm getting that reassuring lovely blue. Let's try that. Fantastic. So it's outputting the JSON and it's looking good to me. I think there's every chance that'll work if I do a reload. Lovely job. Okay, so I haven't actually changed anything. I've still got my data hard coded, but now I've got PHP type things and I should be able to replace them with things from the database. And we'll try that in the next video.